So everyone is just living in mansions. Everyone just has sprawling marble floors and 16-seater oak wood tables from Restoration Hardwood. It's just me with the small little dining space. I don't think so. Social media would have you believe that everyone has like a separate dining area, and if you have a little space, like there's nothing even for you to find. Like there's very few pictures even on Pinterest for small dining spaces. Everything is just these luxurious spaces, which I love to see too. But if you have a small dining space, it doesn't mean that your space has to look cramped and constricted and cheap. I think small dining spaces can look just as luxurious and just as cute and cozy as the larger spaces. So today I'm gonna share my 9 steps for decorating a small dining area. And at the end, I have a special tip, or kind of like my little secret sauce for how I decorate that really has just taken all of my decor to a different level. Hey, it's Chissy Bella. Welcome to my channel. I'm a lover of all things home decor, interior decorating, interior design, and I just moved into a 3-room, 2-story new build. So I'm decorating it, and I don't have $1 million budget, so I'm realistically decorating it. So don't think you're gonna see transformations every week. I don't have coins for that, but as I do transform my place, I will take you with me. I will show you how I did, what I did, and you can kind of get a feel for my style and my taste. So today we are decorating my dining room. I'm giving you my 9 steps for how I decorate a small area. Let's get into it. Step 1, choose the space. This might seem very obvious, and maybe you do have a space where it's really clear where your table and chairs are supposed to go, but really evaluate if that's the best space, if that will meet all your seating needs. I realized pretty quickly, I don't need a big table. I don't need a lot of space. It's just me, and I don't have a lot of people over, and when people do come over, it's not like I'm cooking, so it's not like we're sitting at the table. If we're sitting at the table, it's to pour you a glass of wine, so I don't need a lot of space. I don't need a big table. I actually do want to host, my siblings live in Dallas and they actually come over every Thanksgiving, and I do want to host them, but I'm just going to rent a table. I'm not going to take up that real estate in my house for something I'm not going to use or that I plan to use once a year. I'm just going to rent a table and chairs. I'll probably have it catered as well. It is what it is. But yeah, evaluate your space and figure out what your needs are. Would your table be better in a corner? Do you have an empty wall, maybe between 2 windows? Do you have a space that you just haven't figured out what to do with? Figure out if you want it closer to the kitchen, closer to the living room, if you want people to be able to go in there, you know, while they're chatting in the living room or while they're cooking in the kitchen. Figure out how you want it to flow, and make sure you keep a few things in mind. Do keep in mind your seating needs. Make sure it's a space that if you need 4 chairs, realistically, you can have 4 chairs there. If you need 6, realistically, you can have seating for 6 there. So keep in mind your seating needs when you're choosing the space. Don't choose a space where you're going to be blocking passageways or blocking walkways. Really, I hate it. I hate things where it's like, oh, no one can walk here while the chair is pulled out, or every time someone opens the door, it's hitting something. I don't want that. So try to have a space that's going to be functional, even if it's a space where you have to keep like the stools tucked under, and we'll talk about that in tables and seating. Still have a space that can be functional for your walkways, for your doors, for people to be comfortable and walk comfortably. People have different abilities. Some people are bigger than others. I'm a big girl. I don't want to have to be jumping over and crawling over your table and chairs to get to the kitchen. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I chose the space I chose because I felt like the corner, it was actually kind of a happy accident. When I was throwing things around and I was moving, I was like, oh, that looks really good there. I think it started with my plant, and I was like, that looks really good in that corner. And then everything kind of grew around there. My plant was not in my dining room in my previous place. My plant was in my living room. But in this space, it's gonna be in my dining room. And I just felt like the corner, it was just a moment. I just had a vision about the corner. Actually, the way my space is set up, it's not supposed to be in the corner like I'm putting it. The way the dining area, at least from where the lights are, I have 2 recessed lights, and I think that's where you're supposed to install like a fixture if you'd like. But that's more center, and because I have a smaller table, because I don't need a lot of table or chairs, I'm not going to put it as center as they want me to. Apparently, I don't think I want to utilize the space that way. I see how it's supposed to be, but that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm really gonna create a corner. I'm gonna use the corner to create more of a moment and make it feel more cozy. I think it's gonna feel more lived in, more cozy, more warm. That's my vibe in general, so that's what we're doing. Step 2, measure, measure, and measure again. Start by measuring the space so you know exactly what you have to work with. If you already have a table, measure that as well so you know it will fit in your space. If you're thinking about certain tables, go pull up those measurements and compare it to the space. Make sure the table will work within your space. If not, you'll have to either choose another table or choose another space. When you're measuring, you'll get a lot of information. You'll figure out how big of a table. You also might figure out, okay, I mean, you should be able to see it when you first choose the space, but like this is really a square. I need a certain type of table. This is a more of a rectangle space. This space is wider than it is long. Things like that you should really keep in mind when you're choosing seating and choosing the table. Do think about clearance. Always think about clearance. Clearance is gonna come up all the time. Make sure, the rule of thumb is 36 inches. From the table, you should have 36 inches to pull out the chair. I found I can kind of tweak that, maybe because my chairs are, I don't know, more petite, I don't know. But I found I don't need 36 inches, but that is the rule of thumb. But make sure you can fully pull out your chair without blocking anything or hitting anything, interrupting like doorways, things like that. But yeah, measure, measure, measure. Do keep in mind clear. Now, don't get discouraged at this step. Don't think, oh my gosh, this is like a 3x3 space or this is like a 6x3. Whatever your space is, you can work with it. Don't be discouraged. My space was a 6x5, and so that's what I have to use. So let's go. Step 3, add a rug. This is one of my favorite steps. I don't know how I've ever lived without rugs. Once I started getting into decor and I started making sure my spaces had rugs, everything changed. Everything changed. Everything changed. Add a rug. You might think because your space is smaller, you can't have a rug. Like, that's not in the cards for you. Not true. Not true. False. You can have a rug in small spaces, and in fact, you should have a rug in small spaces. Having a rug distinguishes, grounds, and really defines the space. So adding a rug to a small space, especially if it's not in its own room, if it's sharing a space, it really separates it as its own. It really says this is the dining area. I think all of your spaces really need to have that thing that grounds it, and the rug is what you need for a small dining space. Do get a low pile rug, period. No excuses. No, in most things, like, this is my recommendation. No, do get a low pile rug. Don't get a shag rug. This is not where we're trying to have a luxurious, high rug. No, we need something that we can clean. We need something that we can maintain easily. This is going to be a high traffic area. There are going to be spills. There's going to be food falling. You don't want a shag rug in this area. You want something low pile, low maintenance, that can easily take somewhere. Also, nothing's worse than trying to pull out a chair on a thick rug. It's just not comfortable. It's not comfortable. Get a low pile rug. Get something that you can vacuum easily, that you can clean easy. You're just gonna be more thankful for it. Rugs are my favorite part. Honestly, the rug is one of my favorite parts of my dining area. I chose to layer the rug, and this is the first time I've ever layered rugs, not the last, but the first. And I really did it because, I didn't have money. I needed a big rug, and I needed it for as cheap as possible. It's like, I knew I needed, like, even my other space, I think I needed a 7x5 in my other space. So relatively that's not big, but rugs are expensive. Rugs are very expensive. And so I needed to figure out something. And so I thought the cheaper rugs were like the sisal rugs versus rugs with like a lot of pattern. Even though I knew I wanted pattern, I knew I couldn't afford to get pattern at that size. So I kept looking for either a jute or a sisal, I think it's sisal, a jute or a sisal rug. I found this jute rug, sorry, the sisal rug for $30 on Facebook Marketplace. $30. It's like 7 by 5. $30. So cheap. I don't even know. I know if I bought it in stores, it'd be well over 100, maybe 120, 150, 180. I don't know. $30. So the one caveat, it had a lot of sand in it. And when I say a lot of sand, it had a lot of sand. The woman's house had a lot of sand. Why? I don't know. It wasn't a beach town. I was in Dallas. I don't know. But her house had a lot of sand when I went to get it. The rug had sand. I was cleaning up sand for 2 years. When I moved the rug, there was still sand. That's how much sand. I don't understand, but it's still worth it. I'll take it. $30. The other rug I chose to layer on top of it, I also got from Facebook Marketplace. It's a smaller rug. I think it's probably like, I don't know if it's like a 4 by 5, I don't remember. But I love the pattern. It was very boho, which is what I was going for. And I think it was also like $30, might have been 20. It was around that price. The third rug was actually probably the most expensive rug, and it was the smallest rug. One of my main colors in my space, especially downstairs, is blue. And so it's this beautiful blue woven rug. I think it's from West Elm. And it's just, it's not big at all. It's like a 3 by 3 maybe, I don't know. And so at first, when I first tried to layer them, I was gonna do them all on top of them. Like, that's too matchy no. So then I put the top one, I just slanted it to the side, and I love it. I don't know if this is how I'm supposed to layer them, but I love it. It's worked. I've gotten several compliments on it. My friend came in, she's like, look at you layering rugs. I was like, I know, look at me layering rugs. Who is she? So, love it. Did I talk about rugs enough? Can you tell I love rugs? Okay, let's go on. Step 4. Step 4, choose your table. This is where the measuring we did in step 2 really comes in handy. Figure out what table you're gonna use. Now, most people get their tables and their chairs together. You can, but I'm breaking those into separate steps. So we're gonna talk about seating in step 5 and the table in step 4. Now, when choosing your table, really look at the space again and think about, is it a rectangle? Is it more of a square? Is it long and narrow, or is it wide? And that should really help you decide what table is best for that space. So if you had a long, narrow space, maybe you want an oval table. If you had a square or shorter space, a round table. Honestly, my personal opinion, round tables for all. If you have a small dining space, even if I don't, maybe, I don't know. But for sure, if you have a small dining space, I think a round table is the way to go. If it's close to a walkway, if it's in between something, if you're using a wall, you might also think about getting a table that folds. My table actually does fold, but there are also some other ones that are even smaller than mine that basically the sides fold, so it takes up less space until you're ready to use it. Honestly, this wasn't even originally my first do, because I'm like, I know people like square tables, people like all types of tables, but no, do get a circle table. If you're having a small space, unless you just hate circle tables, get a circle table. It is so much better. It takes up less visual space because there are no corners. So it just makes your space look wider just by being a circle. Another do, light colors or white. I don't know how I feel really about a white table with my decor in general, but a light colored table is also more visually pleasing. It takes up less space in the eye. I have a lighter wood tone for my table, so do get a lighter table. My final do, show the legs. A little leg never hurt, and it's certainly not gonna hurt now. Show the legs. The more of the base of the table you expose, it lightens up the area, it makes it look wider. You can also choose like a pedestal base, which still, takes up very little visual space. Or mine has it's a rattan bottom. It matches the chairs. It has 4 individual legs that don't take up a lot of visual space. So the smaller the base, the better it is in a smaller space, or the skinnier, the more narrow. Don't get heavy furniture. If you already have something that's heavy, really think about possibly selling and getting something else secondhand. Heavy furniture, bulky furniture, it just takes up so much visual space, and also the proportions are going to be off for that space. It's going to overwhelm that space. So you really don't want a table that's very heavy, that's very bulky, or that's very dark in color. There is a difference if you have a black table versus like a very dark wood or deep wood, in my opinion. A deeper dark wood could work, but if it's all very bulky and solid, I just think it's going to overwhelm that small space that you already have. The best thing about a light color and showing the legs on the table is that you want the eye to breathe. You want the eye to have places of rest. And so it just allows your eye to skim over it, to take it in, but not to be overwhelmed by it. So I got this table at a small furniture store. It wasn't close at all. I actually saw it on Facebook Marketplace. They used to, I don't think they do anymore, but they used to advertise on Facebook Marketplace. And I personally hate when furniture stores advertise on Facebook Marketplace. Hate it. But not this time, because I was in love with this table. It was just perfect. The wood, the rattan, it was so quality, so well made. I drove like 50 minutes to get this table and chairs. But I just was so in love. It was everything I wanted. It was the perfect size. It was just amazing. I loved it. And so it folds down. It actually came with a glass circle top, but I've never put the glass on it because I just love, I don't know, the richness of the wood top. I don't know. I don't like glass tops. I don't like glass anything anymore. That era has passed in my life. Thank you, God. So I don't know, I love the richness of the wood. I love the rattan. The color is perfection. It's chef's kiss to me. It's comfortable. Love it. Just love it. It's one of those pieces where, like, if I move into a bigger house, like if I get married and have kids, I'm not getting rid of the table. I don't care what I have to do. I don't care if it's gonna be the outside patio, covered table. I don't care if I'm gonna have to build a banquette around it and have matching chairs made to get more. I'm not getting rid of this table. This table is coming with me to my grave, period. No. Let's get on to the next step. Step 5. Step 5, choose the seating. Most people get matching chairs with their tables, and that's fine if that can accommodate all of your seating needs. If you didn't get matching chairs, that's fine too. This is the time to get creative. Think of ways to add seating that go with your personal style. That could be chairs, that could be a bench, that could be adding a banquette, adding a poof, an ottoman. There are multiple ways to add seating, and the thing I like about things aren't just chairs is that you can use it in the rest of your place. So having a stool that fits under there, you can also keep it under a table or under your counter, or there are multiple ways to integrate it if you need it, you know, somewhere else. Or if you're having a game night and you don't really need people around the table, you can just switch it over. So get creative with the seating. Do choose seating that could be stored under the table, especially if the table is in a walkway or close to a walkway. Choose seating that when it's not in use can fit pretty well under the table. You don't want something that is too bulky and that is always going to be far from the table. Choose something that can easily nest. Don't go for large, bulky chairs, okay? Instead, get chairs with lower backs and armless chairs. And I know you're thinking, oh, it's more comfortable if they have arms and things, but the arms usually prevent them from going under the table. And overall, it takes up more visual space. And we're trying to take up as least visual space possible with the most impact. So don't get the big bulky chairs, get something slimmer, sleeker, something lower and low profile. That's what we're looking for in a chair. In my old place, I just had the 2 chairs. That was all I had space for. That was all I needed. But in this space, with the corner, I was like, okay, let me put a bench in the back. The bench used to be in my living room, but now it's part of my dining area. So I love this bench, beautiful bench. The chairs came with the table. I got the bench at Marshall's, Home Goods, Marshall's, same, whatever. I think it was like $80. I got the bench at Marshall's, brought it back to Houston, and I decided, okay, let me put the bench against the wall. And then I was like, this is not enough. It's not, something's missing. So I got the pillows, the lumbar pillow and the 2 accent pillows to add comfort, to add more texture, to add more color. And I felt like it really started to pull the place together. I really, really liked it. Step 6, accent up with decor. Use lighting and decor to bring the eye up and take advantage of the vertical space. This is where most people would use a light fixture and really get personal with their style. Even if you're renting a place, you can usually switch out the light fixtures if you don't like what's there. Do use light fixtures or wall decor like mirrors, wall hangings, sconces, or wall art to draw the eye up. If a lighting fixture is out of the question, you can also use a floor lamp to draw the eye up as well. You can use one that stands straight up against the wall or one that hangs over the table, as long as it's not too intrusive and doesn't get in the way of, you know, actually eating and enjoying the space. Don't hang light fixtures too low or too high. This is back to the rule of 36. Light fixtures are supposed to be 36 inches above the table and centered on the table. Okay, so like I said, I'm putting my space in the corner where it was meant to be more centered, not in the corner, like more centered left from where I have it. So where the light fixtures would go wouldn't be centered with my table at all. Like not even close, like it's probably like a foot to the left. So that's out of the option for me. I can't hang a light fixture, but that's okay. I'm gonna accent up with wall hangings, which I love as well. I'm a very boho girl if you haven't noticed. So I'm gonna accent up with wall hangings. I'm also going to use a mirror. This is also different. In my old place, I had this mirror in the living room, but I actually kind of like it here. So for now, I'm gonna have this mirror here. And then I actually thought of bringing in a chair as an accent too, which is kind of weird, I don't know. And also, I don't know if it's more part of the living room or part of the dining area. I feel like it kind of blends them both. This is not the nicest chair. I love it. It's a rattan chair. My cat loves it too, so the seat is all torn up. But if someone comes over, I'll just switch out the seat cushion. It's not a big deal. But I also want to kind of make it cozy, so I have her little cat bed that I'm gonna put near their chair, which is really, really fluffy. I actually got it for the aesthetics. She just happens to like it too. And then I'm gonna put like maybe a little vase down on the floor, so there's just little visual details, little visual treats for your eye to pick up as your eye goes from bottom to top. I'm thinking of putting a little piece of art above the mirror, but I haven't decided. So for now, I'm just leaving it as is. Okay, this is the part of the video where most YouTubers would be so annoying and be like, you're watching this far, like and subscribe. How corny, right? I'm not gonna do that. Nah, I'm not. Alright, let's get back to the video. 7, bring in nature. I love this as much as I love the rug. It's a toss-up what I love more. But bringing in nature is so much fun. I think one of the worst things about decor today is plants are in, it is trendy, but it also is not. Like it's really weird how everyone has plants, but yet so many YouTubers have no plant life and their accent color is beige. It's very weird. Anyway, I love plant life, so bring in those plants. This is a dining area. You don't have to overwhelm the space. I feel like a little goes a long way. I think most people are used to bringing in plants in their living room now, at least hopefully. Some people on YouTube still refuse. But I think it's a great area to try to bring in some nature, and it doesn't have to just be plants. Do you know that there are a variety of ways to bring in nature in your dining area? It could be branches, leaves, flowers, or plants or trees, you know. One thing about a large plant, just like rugs, it grounds the space. It really helps define the space. Like, I think bringing in that nature, especially if it's substantial, really does change the room and gives life and freshness to the room. Don't be afraid to use real plants. I know everyone loves fake plants. I sometimes love fake plants. They're okay. But I think I love a good real plant. It could be a cacti, it could be something low maintenance. It doesn't have to be something that, you don't have to have hydrangeas, because hydrangeas are drama queens, if you don't know. But it could be something really, really low maintenance, but just bring in life. Don't be afraid to go real. I brought in life with my favorite plant. It actually used to be in my living room. Her name is Khaleesi. Yes, I named her before the end of the series. I love Khaleesi so much. I've had her for almost 3 years, and when I got her, she was a baby, very, very small. Like, so small. So I'm so proud of how much she's grown. I love her so much. And it's actually perfect because she does best with indirect light. And so she's in a corner, how she kind of was in my old space, even though she was in the living room. Now she's still in a corner, gets that great indirect light from both windows. And I hope she'll thrive here. I think she will. I think it'll be a good place for her. So that's why I put my baby in the corner. Even though you're not supposed to put baby in the corner, I think baby likes it in the corner. Step 8, dress those windows. If you're gonna go with curtains, use a light fabric and hang them high, as in as high as they can go. And they should touch the floor, okay? No high waters. All the way up and all the way down. You also can use shades, like fabric shades or blinds. Those are all an option. Don't ignore a good windowsill. A good windowsill is another opportunity for decor. So just don't let that be wasted space, okay? Even if you're not gonna do curtains, even if you are gonna do curtains, if your curtains are gonna be open, that's another space where you can bring in nature. So I don't know if I'm gonna do curtains. I know I just said to do curtains. I love curtains. Here's the issue. There are too many doggone windows in this area, and I don't know which one should have a curtain or not. I can't put curtains on all of them. It'll look insane. In one video, I guess I'll show y'all what I mean. There are just so many windows. Some of them are very small too. I don't know what the builder was thinking. It clearly wasn't about the design or the decor, but there are too many windows. So I don't know if I should go with shades yet. But for now, until I decide what windows would get curtains and what windows wouldn't, I'm just like, I'm not doing curtains. I might do shades, because shades are another great option. So I might do shades, like fabric shades, like in a burlap or something. That could be cute. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think I should do windows here? Remove the wall hangings? If wall hangings aren't your thing, don't just say that because you don't like wall hangings. But tell me what you think in the comments. Should I do should I do curtains? Should I do shades? Or is it fine as it is? We'll see. I still dressed my windows though. I put cacti on the windowsill. It adds symmetry and it draws the eye to the window. It also adds a focus for that area. So I still dressed my windows, even though they're still a little naked, they still a little, dotted because they're not really covered up. But that's okay for now. We're still gonna think on it. Step 9, choose a centerpiece. We're at the last step. And funny enough, this is the hardest one for me. I'm still not convinced about my choices, but let's go. So I'm gonna start with the don'ts. Don't use something too tall. I know I said we can bring in nature with branches and things like that, but they can't overwhelm the space. Especially in my particular case, because I have a window. So I don't want to overwhelm that window. I don't want to block it. I don't want to cut it off. If it's against the wall, it might be okay, but you really have to evaluate, is it too big for the space? You really have to evaluate the proportions. Also, when people are sitting there, can you see each other? One thing I hate about weddings is when they have huge centerpieces and I can't see the person across from me. It's not helpful. So you want something where you don't always have to move it, that even if you're not eating, you can sit there and like have a conversation. It could still be a seating area. Don't use a tablecloth. No. I mean, I'm sure there are great examples of tablecloths that still look clean and sleek and nice. I just personally haven't seen them. I've seen great table runners. So using a cloth runner if you really want to have fabric on your table for some reason. But a tablecloth just covering and draping, and I just feel like it takes away the beautiful lines of the table. It looks a little bit cluttered. Keep it simple and try a lot of different things. Originally, I had an aloe vera plant that was going to go in the centerpiece. That's what used to be in the centerpiece, and it went in a cute little, I had a cute little vase for it. I recently just had to cut it down a lot, and I felt like it needed to be outside in the sun. It needed to dry out a lot, so I couldn't use that for my centerpiece or for the table. So I was like, well, we're gonna try everything. We're gonna try every possible centerpiece I have and see what works. And here's what I tried. Here's all the stuff I tried. A decorative pear, a fake glass vase with like fake flowers, 3 candlesticks arranged first linearly. Then I'm like, okay, maybe if I put it in a circle, it'll be better. It wasn't better at all. I tried flowers. I tried a wine in 2 wine glasses. I tried a glass jar of lemons. I tried 2 like candle, like pastels, or I forget what they're called. And then I tried them with candles on them. Didn't help at all either. I tried this, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a little stone, little like platter, circular thing. Too bare. I said, well, let's put some candles on it. That didn't work. I said, let's put more candles on. That didn't work. I said, all the candles I own, let me put on this thing. And it was okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst thing, but no. I tried a plant that I hadn't got a ceramic for yet. That didn't work. I tried putting a wooden plate under the plant to see if it would add, you know, a little, It did not. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't what I wanted. Then I said, aha, I know what's wrong. What I need are trays. Trays help group things together. But then I'm like, oh my gosh, duh. I'm gonna do the bowl with the lemons, with the tray. Not there yet. Okay, so the bell was a cute little bell that I got from London, and it's really cute. It has London flag on the handle, but it just didn't work. So I was like, okay, we gotta get rid of the bell. What do I replace the bell with? I brought this little fuzzy bunny, this fuzzy green bunny that I just love, I don't know. And I paired it with the bowl of lemons and the glass with the baby's breath, possibly. And I think it worked. I love it. I think it feels right. It fills up the space well. I think it adds fresh elements. It adds color. It adds nature. So for now, that's what's my centerpiece. We'll see if it changes. As a recap, choose the space. Measure, measure, measure. Add a rug. Choose the table. Choose seating. Accent up with decor. Dress the windows. Bring in nature. And choose your center. So the total cost of my space was somewhere between like $500 and $600 all included. So that is all. $500 to $600 might seem like a lot for some people depending on your budget, but I feel like for its cozy and well flushed out as the space is, I think it's a pretty good price point. And you could easily deduct some items and still feel just as cozy, have it work just as well. And I just love it. It's perfect for me. So I hope you create a space that is just as perfect for you. So how do you create that space? Where should you go? If you haven't figured it out by now, my #1 recommendation is Facebook Marketplace. If you're in a city that's small or that it's just not great there. I also found some things on Amazon, especially as far as rugs go, that were similar to what I have. I found some tables that were similar. I found a fake plant that was similar. So if you're interested in that, look in the description. I have all of them linked there. So Amazon is another option if you don't have a great marketplace, or if you're not comfortable with marketplace yet. So my space is pretty much done, my dining space. I'm thinking about putting art above the mirror. And I'm also thinking about possibly replacing the mirror with a bar cabinet. But I saw these bar cabinets, I'll put them above, and I'm in love. I think I want a bar cabinet. I do love the mirror too. So I don't know if I should do a bar cabinet instead of the mirror. What do you think? I could, or maybe I can move the chair and do the, I don't know. What do you think about the bar cabinets? I really like the one that's like oval, the one that's like circular. I really like that one. I think that's my favorite. But what are your thoughts? Or do you like the mirror, and should I just leave it? So yeah, basically done, except maybe a bar cabinet, maybe curtains, maybe shades. Basically done though. Thought I forgot about that bonus tip. I didn't forget. Here's the tip. I always try to create a focal point. I always try to create what my focal point is going to be, what I want to be the frame of the picture that I'm painting with decor and with furniture. And the way I wanted to frame my living room was from the window. That was how it was going to be framed. The focal point would be the window. And that's why I chose to put the cacti on the window. That's why I chose to have the wall hangings. That's why that bench is across that window. I wanted it to be, you walk into my space and you look straight across and you just see this beautiful seating against this window, this beautiful dining area across this window, and the light is streaming in. And that, I wanted that moment. That was what I had in my head, as this is going to be the focal point, and everything I do is going to be to cater to this. And I think if you design your home with a focal point in mind, having that intention coming in with like, this is going to be the focal point, this is going to be where you look and you see the intention and you feel the, you know, the gravitas. I hope that makes sense. Maybe it's just in my head, but I think when I started thinking that way about my decor, it really upgraded. So hopefully that helped. If it didn't, I'm sorry. So what's the focal point in your dining room? Think about it. Look, is there one, or is the eye just wandering around and it doesn't know where to rest or how to take it in? So if you made it all this way, I mean, you might as well do that thing that all the other people tell you to do on their videos, but if you don't, that's fine too. But you can watch my last video, which is the house tour. You'll see my full house empty, and my beautiful washer and dryer. Also, stay tuned for my next video where I will be ranking and roasting my least, I think I'm gonna go least favorite to favorite interior design styles. So that should be fun. And I have a personal goal. I'm doing the 12-week year. I have a personal goal to get 1,000 subscribers by February. So if you can help make that happen, just by liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing with a friend, we're all in this together, as they said in High School Musical. All right, that's it. I'm corny. Bye. If I seem uncomfortable on camera, it's because I'm uncomfortable on camera. If I seem like I can keep looking to the left, it's because I keep looking at myself. So you're gonna have to bear with me here. This is video 2. We'll get better, hopefully, if we keep doing these. Why am I saying we? It's one person, it's me. Yeah, I'm reading from my phone. I can't remember all this, but I did write it down. It is original thought. Trying to hide the phone off the screen, but it's not always that easy. Give me a break. Until next time, toodles. I'm exhausted.